I'll be like, oh,
Oh, that'd be funny.
and that.
Word on the street, word on the street. Talk politics, current events, relationships, movies and flicks. Word on the street, word on the street. Word on the street is we be staying on topic with sports news and the movies. Anything that just happened. Special guest with that Drake Swift, Savage Kitty and Alex, aka the Sports Mouth. Storytelling what's happening. Chop it up with you Saturdays. No better way to start your day. Kick it with you on Mondays in case you really got something to say. If not, we'll catch you on Wednesday. Put the spotlight up to your face. Yeah, you know how we get down. Tell them tune in or get out the way.
What up, though? It is Saturday. It is it's Valentine's weekend. Oh my God.
Let it rain.
So here you are.
Let your love come down, ladies.
I'm here with Tori Kitty, Jess Michelle, yours truly, Drake Swift. So are you guys excited for Valentine's Day? Michelle, I know you're having a Super Bowl party. Are you doing anything special for Valentine's Day?
A Super Bowl party. Yeah. We gonna barbecue. And we gonna put two wings together and make a heart. Hey.
That's it. Call it a day.
How about Tori? Are you doing anything?
Well, always watching the Super Bowl, of course, because the Detroit Rams are going to the Super Bowl. But other than that, yeah, I think my boyfriend's taking me somewhere. So yeah, you know, maybe get a little freaky deaky. Maybe that's about it. You know, share the love.
Share the love. So the Super Bowl is this weekend. You mentioned the Detroit Rams.
Yeah, they're no longer the Lions. They're the Rams.
I would just tell him, Michelle, because she was saying that her son-in-law is from Detroit, and he was saying, oh, the Detroit Rams are in the Super Bowl, and I was like, wait a minute. So let's get this straight. Stafford was a quarterback for the Lions for 11 years. He ended up going to the Rams last year or this season, and now they're in a Super Bowl. So let me tell all the Detroit people, unfortunately, you would like to say that, but, you know, I'm rooting for Stafford, but they're the LA Rams. There is no Detroit Rams. So
they're the Detroit Rams to me. Don't take my shine. Okay, this is my time. We as a Lion community, right, have faced defeat, humiliation, embarrassment. There's been some okay times, right? But none of us have gotten a Super Bowl before any of us, or even the people that have come before us when they pass. So this is going to be our Super Bowl. We're here for the shits. Okay, this is our time to shine.
But no, it can't be, because if that's the case, whenever the Cardinals will ever win a Super Bowl, it would be St. Louis Cardinals, because that's where they really so,
right. Listen, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I'm claiming it. I'm taking it. Stafford, we groomed Stafford like I know it sounds kind of pedophile-ish, but we groomed Stafford for this moment, and this is our moment to shine. I can hear Rihanna singing the song in the background, so I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
So there's some crazy bets. I even so my dad, he's all these sports.
I'm gonna get a shirt made.
All these sports online, 52-1, whatever, all these crazy things, right? So he signed up for DraftKings. So he's like, hey, help me sign up. He's a senior citizen, right? So he signed up for DraftKings, and I submitted his account, but it said it couldn't verify because it takes a picture of your ID and whatever to make sure you are of age. And so I'm doing it, and then it says verify. So it was verified for like 2 days. you know, and my dad's old, right? He's almost 80. So he's like, I come over one day, the next day, and I was like, well, it still says verified, Dad. I don't know what's going on. He goes, what the fuck? I'm over 21. What the fuck? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So I go over the next day. Same thing. It's still saying verified. He goes, fuck it. I'm not going to bet on it. And I said, well, we can create you another account on Mom's phone or whatever. So my mom did it. And then boom, it was automatically verified. So he put $100 in there. And I think it was 52-1. He's like, so I went 280 automatically. I said, no, how it works is that you get $280 worth of bets on other different things after you put the money into the account. So you got to bet on whatever. You just can't bet on the Super Bowl, but you can bet, you know, $50 on this. So he bet $50 on like the offensive line. And I think if he wins, it's like, I think it's $600. And then he bet on the Detroit Rams. And I think he only won $25. So it's not a lot of money. There's so many on these betting things. There's so many different things you can bet on. You can bet on the coin cost. You can bet on what color Gatorade is going to be poured on the coach. I mean, so many different bets.
Really?
You can do.
I feel like I need to get in on this. After the show, I'm going to need you to direct me on how to do this.
Well, there's so many different ways. There's so many different ways you can bet on. You get, like I said, you can bet on, you know, what color, like I said, the Gatorade, who's going to score the first touchdown. Is there going to be a touchdown? You know, all kinds of things. Is there going to be something? Is there going to be a fight at the Super Bowl? All kinds of different. You can bet on all kinds of shit. So
correct me if I'm wrong, but was Arizona allowed to do the online betting last year? Is this a new thing for them? Because I remember I tried to do it. My mom had this big, you know how parents are. They're like, oh, we're gonna figure this out. So you're gonna bet for this one, and I'm gonna bet for this one, and regardless, we're both gonna win, and we're just gonna split the money. So I'm like, okay, that sounds like a smart, right? But they wouldn't let me do it because I have Detroit phone numbers, and my phone was located in Arizona. I said, well, what if you're on vacation, but you are from Detroit? Because you're in Arizona, you can't continue through with the bet. It was weird. It would not allow me.
I really don't know when it started because I know buddy of mine, he was betting on football years ago, and we had to use an offshore company that was located somewhere. So that's how we bet it.
Yeah.
This came about. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. We get to, you know, bet in Arizona now.
Yeah, no, it would not allow me to do it. I tried and I thought, oh, I got this because all my phone numbers are Detroit phone numbers, but it said your phone is actually located in Arizona. I'm like, well, what if I'm on vacation? Like,
how did they know you were in Arizona, though? That's crazy.
They said your phone is showing up in a different location. So, because this is a tracker, right? All this, everybody who doesn't want to get vaccinated because they think they're putting a tracker in them. Your phone is one that you carry every day. So, yeah, I couldn't do the bets. My mom ended up winning a couple $100, and I didn't win anything because I couldn't get in on the Ponzi scheme.
So, Michelle, since your son-in-law is a Detroit Rams fan, are you voting? Are you more interested, like everyone else said, hey, I'm interested in the halftime show? You got Snoop Dogg, you got Dr. Dre, Eminem. Now they even said they're going to have a Tupac. They're going to bring back the Tupac. What is that called? The virtual
hologram.
Thing.
The virtual. Okay.
Yeah, so they're going to have him. They're going to have
and Mary J.
Kendrick Lamar. So are you more interested in the halftime show more than the game?
But honestly, me personally, I'm interested in the commercials and
okay.
the halftime.
Oh, I forgot about the commercials.
You gotta think about the commercials. Half the commercials have nothing to do with the product, but the view is just like totally crazy because they think totally out of the box to make these commercials. And granted, they pay millions of dollars for that 30-second line. But I am excited about the halftime because, I mean, they brought back some of the old school. And, you know, back in that time, we had flavor instead of, you know, throwing just a couple of words with a beat. But, you know,
so they asked Eminem, "Are you gonna pull your cock out during this halftime show?"
What?
Yeah, there was a press conference, and they said, "Eminem, are you gonna do anything crazy?" And they're like, "Please do not pull your cock out." So I guess Dr. Dre said that Eminem will not pull his cock out. So there is.
Oh my God.
But he could do Janet Jackson and just put a patch and have somebody rip it off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There you go. Got that going on.
I know that we didn't talk about it.
I'm here for it.
Not in our stories, but so there was an ongoing beef with Snoop Dogg and Eminem, and I didn't even know about it. I guess they asked Snoop Dogg in 2020, "Hey, who's the greatest top 10? Who's the greatest hip hop artist ever?" And Eminem was not on that list. And they asked him, "Well, why isn't Eminem on that list?" And he goes, "Well, I don't think he's that good. He wouldn't. He wouldn't be successful if." So he threw a little shade at him, and I didn't know Eminem came out with a song in 2020 that dissed him. They finally worked it out, but they said these are the first time that these guys were going to be on stage together after the beef. So there you go. I didn't even know.
20 years later.
I didn't know. So they said chicken wings cost more this year. So if you notice, inflation is crazy. They said there's some places around the country, $4 a loaf of bread, which is crazy. But don't be surprised if you find yourself paying a premium for chicken wings during the Super Bowl Sunday. So they said they're going to be a little more expensive. If you guys go to the grocery store, I don't. So you notice there is a lot more. There are a lot of things that and inflation is at an all-time high. And they said you're going to pay a lot of money, $120 for a case of chicken wings.
What?
Yeah. That's like crab legs. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, a whole bunch of crab legs at Costco's is $3 something.
Yeah, you know? But them are crab leg prices. Like, damn. Chicken out here getting bold.
That chicken is not walking around with platinum.
It's $3.50.
Yeah, they're skinny chickens.
$3.55 a pound.
What?
You know what though? I mean, everything is going up in price. Everything is higher in price. If you can find it on the shelf, right? Let's talk about that because there are so many things that you can't even find on the shelf. I mean, and they're basic stuff like packages of gravy. Just the other day, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get some biscuits, right?" And I can make them myself, but I just wanted to do it real quick and couldn't. I went to 3 stores, all 3 stores. You know, usually. If one is empty, it's like, oh, their shipment hasn't come in yet, right? Or it's still on the truck. But all 3 stores, different brand stores, and all 3 were missing the item that I needed. Where I was like, okay, I guess I got to do this old-fashioned way again.
Yeah, it's insane right now. Because I mean, we were making breakfast last weekend, and I do not like pulp in my orange juice. And comes home with
Coke.
Yeah, pulp.
Pulp, not Coke. You said Coke.
Not Coke. I mean, I know.
Some people might like, that's a little wake me up in the morning.
You got to work with your OJ. It's not a mimosa, but it's something different. And I'm like, you got to strain this because I can't drink this. This is nasty. I mean, like,
chunky OJ. Chunky OJ.
That was that you brought up the conversation.
Yeah.
So Tori the other day says, "Can you give me an orange juice?" So I'm looking, and I'm at Circle K, and I see pulp, some pulp, and no pulp, right? So I was like, "You like it chunky?" And then she was
I was like, "Please don't get it chunky. Don't. I thought we already had this conversation." Yeah, but there's a lot of things are going up in price. They're missing. You know, I don't know. Them chicken wings, they better be delicious. You got to season them right for that price.
So I'm wondering, like pizza places, are they raising their prices, or are they just going to eat the cost?
They probably going to raise the prices.
Yeah. I mean, didn't Little Caesars just raise theirs?
Well, yeah,
yeah.
5 cents.
Yeah, but
it used to be $5, and then it went to $5.55, and
Oh,
now
six.
yeah, everything is going up. I mean,
all I know is when I walk around the room, I better not see no chicken on that bone. Don't disrespect that chicken. And don't let me see no wasted crust with any cheese on it. And I don't want to hear that. I don't need the crust. You better get some ranch and figure it out.
That's what I'm saying.
You know,
I just paid extra for that crust.
It's been 40 years. We've hit this, or 40 years plus. You know, I was little when Carter was in office, and I don't remember the gas shortages, but you know, you think that we're headed towards that way where people are, you know, lining up for gas? Because I think that's next. When we're almost paying $4 at the pump. I know, Tori, you drive a big truck. It's pretty nerve wracking that you have to pay, and you drive a big SUV. You have to pay a lot of money for gas. Like they just said that even inflation, that it's going up at an all-time high. Definitely, you know, it goes up every year, right? But definitely the wages are not reflecting how much money for Now the feds say they're going to increase interest rates on borrowing money, you know, houses and stuff. They're hoping that, you know, kind of stops the craziness. Do you think that we're going into have a big burst and bubble like we did in 06 with the economy, with the houses and stuff like that? I don't know. It's pretty scary because they just keep spending money, and we just, you know, they want to hand out more money, and it's just crazy. Go ahead, Michelle.
But the crazy thing is that I remember when gas was 99 cents. And then when it jumped to $2.50, the world lost its mind in Arizona. And there was actually lines, and people were running out of gas while they were waiting to get gas.
Right.
And people were actually, you know, selling gas, like, you know, that was a side hustle, and like literally charging these people outrageous prices. You know, I remember because I used to also do real estate back in the day, and I worked for escrow, and our interest rates were at 12% forever. And then when the market came out with this boom, interest rates went down to 3%. And, you know, that's when the big refi boom was here, and you didn't have to non-qualified loans. You know, you could just pretty much didn't have to prove your income. They were just giving out loans like crazy. Adjustable rates were like popping, and it was just ridiculous. And then of course the market crashed. But I really believe that it's going to have to plateau, and then it's going to have to crash eventually, because it has to resurface and recycle.
It has to reset. Yeah, it has to reset.
And the crazy thing is that the minimum wage and poor are being affected by it. While, you know, it may not feel bad to some people who are swiping their card for $3.25, $3.54 for gas, but you have this person over here who's barely making it, trying to figure out how $5 can't get you
right
these days.
How are you just going to get to work to continue to make it? How am I going to get my kids to school, pick them up, make it to work, make it home, and to the grocery store? Just yesterday, I put $70 in my truck yesterday, and half of it, 50 of it's already gone.
Exactly.
Just to work. To go make money. So I'm literally working to just put gas in my truck.
That's how it is right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's coming. I get a little anxiety when I think about it, especially because I drive a big truck. I'm like,
that's why I'm so for buying a big piece of land and make a compound on it. And you know what? Let's do our whole thing. And because you can get 5 acres for $90,000, and just drop houses on there and have our own little community, build our own little farm, because it's just the point of living is just sustaining. Really, you know, hard for individuals to survive.
Yeah.
And that's say that you know, that people, you're trying to buy land and stuff and just put a bunch of houses on it. You know, I talked to somebody the other day, and they said, yeah, we're thinking about doing the same thing and growing our own food, because that's how crazy it is, right?
It is. I mean, I got there's a garden program that I ended up getting awarded to for an aquaponics garden. And I'm like so for growing my own veggies and my own fruits.
Me
Because,
too.
for one, I know what's inside of my own stuff that I'm growing. But, just to buy strawberries or grapes, you're paying like $2.99, $3.99 a pound. So by you have a couple of pounds, you spent $12 on 2 pounds of grapes. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, and then you have to hope that they have the shelf life in your refrigerator to stay well, as opposed to growing it yourself and taking as you need. Instead of buying extra and having all this waste. I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. I buy a lot of fresh food. I cook. I go to the grocery store, prepare a lot, right? So for me, a garden is it just makes sense to be able to grow your own food. I would have a garden and a whole farm, all the animals with all the things that I need, right? Every now and then we go out and get some things, some little goodies. But
I told my daughter, she was like, I said, we get a couple, chickens and some.
Yes.
She was like, I could not kill them. I said, but they're dinner.
No. So my girlfriend, but they're dinner. Listen, that chicken, you thank that chicken. It's for its service. Put a little barbecue sauce on it, you'll be fine. my girlfriend in Mesa, she has chickens, and they don't eat them. They just use them for their eggs. But they're the cutest thing, and I really want to get one. And the other day they were advertising that they're letting some of them go, and they look like they're like little fuzzy chickens, and they lay the most beautiful colored eggs ever. And really? I'm like, yes. And she's like, you really should get one. They're the easiest thing. She has a coop in her back, and she's the most like non-farm bougie chick, right? She's not about that life. And they built this little like self-sustaining coop, and all it really she said every like 2 weeks there's a guy her father-in-law comes and cleans it up. It's real easy, and they just do their thing. You just got to make sure there's wire on the coop to make sure that they're protected. But her kids bring them in the house and play with them, and they're the cutest little chickens. They look like she's got black, gray, white, yellow. They look like little cotton balls. I don't even know what kind of chicken that is, but it looks like a cotton. It looks like, I'll have to send you guys a photo. They look like little fluffy cotton balls. You just want to snuggle it. Yeah, it's adorable. And she's got eggs all the time. And then she has so many that like every so many weeks they sell them. And she said they make like a couple $100 just selling their chickens' eggs, because they're not going to eat them all. They lay like one a day, and they've got like 10 of them. So you do the math. That's a lot of eggs.
That's a lot of eggs.
And people love them because their
eggs would be gone.
Yeah, well, she said because they're like pretty colors and they taste like incredible, people just can't get enough of them. So that alone is another form of income from your self-sustaining animals.
Yeah.
So
it's a good idea.
So you were saying that. So where's this at, in Mesa?
A friend of mine in Mesa. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she lives in Mesa.
That's crazy though, that if you're able to grow some of this stuff. So the reason why I brought it up was
she's in like just a residential area. She doesn't even have a farm. She's just got a regular house with a backyard.
Regular house. So Biden,
regular.
The administration is going to pass out another stimulus check, but it's only for farm workers, which I thought that was kind of cool. The money's going to be for people that work in agriculture. I thought I think they're well deserved of special bonuses. I mean, they're feeding.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
Yeah, so that I was like,
without them, there is no us.
Right. So I know I sent you the story last night, Tori, but so there was a naked man in a girl's car in Canada for 3 days.
This is a great story.
I was just like, what is going on? And I'm going to bring this on the screen. I was like, what is going on in Canada?
They're so nice there. They're like, go ahead, just use my car.
Here you go.
Are you in my trunk and are you naked?
Yeah,
What?
it's a rite of passage.
To be, how did you get in there?
I'm the son of the Pope.
What the
We appreciate that.
Yeah, we really appreciate that.
So it starts Saturday evening. I had left my doors unlocked because I live in a safe neighborhood. I didn't really think anything of it. And then the next morning, I went outside to start my car, and there was just mud all over my seat. And I was like, what happened?
I'm like standing here in the fucking rain right now, so fucking confused. It looks like someone rolled around in fucking mud and then got into my car.
I ended up calling my buddy, and we went and got it all cleaned up. So I'm like screaming about all the mud in my seat. Meanwhile, apparently in my trunk the whole time, I'm like screaming about cleaning it up because I'm like, what happened? And I came to the conclusion that someone had slept in my car overnight. After I got it all cleaned up, like I went and got groceries, I got gas, I got sushi. This guy was just in my trunk the whole time, and I had no idea. And then the next day is like Monday, so I got to work, and I had asked someone to bring me like a dehumidifier and a heater because my seats were soaking wet from cleaning them. And so I put that in the vehicle overnight Monday, and it had gone down to like -10 where I live, because in the morning it was like -3 when I woke up. So if I hadn't put the dehumidifier and the heater in, he might have frozen to death in my trunk with me not knowing he was there. I don't use my trunk at all. So Tuesday morning rolls around, and I get in my car, and it's like nice and dehumidified, but it smelled a little bit weird, but I didn't really think anything of it. So I got to work and worked through the whole day. And then I was leaving work, so I like unlocked my car and I reached across, and I hear, hey, and I look, and there's like a face staring at me, and he's like, can you let me out? And I like pulled out my phone and I started recording because I thought someone was messing with me.
Why are you in my trunk and are you naked?
Yeah,
What?
it's a rite of passage.
To be, how did you get in there?
I'm the son of the Pope.
What the
I like my back seat's like bent down and he's like naked, and I was like, oh. I locked the door and I don't know what I opened it. I guess this is the fucking guy. Like, look at my back seat. Okay. And that's when I realized that my doors have been locked for 3 days, and there's no other way this guy had gone in there in that time. He had to have been in my trunk for 3 days. I called the cops, and they're like, what do you mean he's been in your trunk for 3 days?
We appreciate that.
Yeah, we really appreciate that.
And they're like, what are you doing in her trunk? And I guess like he has like a couple mental issues, but he'd also been out partying that night. But there's no way he could have gotten out, because since my car is Japanese, they don't have the little trunk release on it. It's like he locked himself in there. He'd come to work with me twice. Like, my neighbor sent me footage of Saturday night, but it didn't catch him getting into the trunk. But like, you can only, like, he didn't have my keys. You can only pop the trunk release and climb in, and then like close it on himself. Like, that is the only one.
Oh my God.
So when he popped out of the trunk, he said his name to the cops, and they were like, this is our missing guy. So he had been reported missing on Saturday. So I found a missing person. And then I had a bunch of people messaging me, since it's like a pretty small town, and they were like, he's okay now, like he was severely dehydrated and he's like getting help. So he's doing good now from what I've heard, which is excellent news. I had a decent amount of people messaging me and just like thank me for being like very chill with him. And like, I'm really thankful that like the cops were really nice. Like anywhere, like if we were in the States, they probably would have pulled out their guns, and like he was like a harmless person, and like it could have gone a different way, but it's like kind of nice to have like taken a step back from the situation and not like gone with first instincts and like had something terrible happen. Like it turned out he was actually like really sweet and like nice, but like I didn't know if he had like a weapon or anything when I realized I didn't know who this was. So yeah, it was kind of like best case scenario that I found him when I did, and that he got a nice little heater on Monday night, and I kept my car dehumidified.
People in Canada are so like, it's okay, you can stay in my car And I'm glad you had a nice little vacation.
It was a nice, creepy, cute story. I thought, she said it right there. If it was in the States, if this was in Michelle, if this was in Minneapolis, okay, would he been shot?
Oh, hell yes. Yes, because the thing about it is they don't have patience to work through all that. They never want to deal with the issue. They just want to let's resolve this and move on to the next type of situation. And like she said in the story, there was evidence that there was mental illness. So the law enforcement really needs to be trained on mental illness in order to deal with people, in order to have a safe resolve situation versus let's just pull out our guns and they move the wrong way, or I thought they had something in their hand type of situation. But literally, it's not safe. I mean, for real, you just think that you don't know what's going on, and so the rapid result is let's just do the chitty chitty bang bang situation and move on, and come to find out that this person had a mental illness and
he was missing. He was a missing person,
and he was missing.
Yeah,
but
so
they would have never got to his ID to find out he was missing. It just, there's no technique or protocol to really resolve, to get to what's really going on type of situation, because
they don't care.
You're in my space and you need to get out,
right? And we're going to strong arm you, and I don't care what you say or who you are. And I'm not looking at you as a being. I'm looking at you as a number, and I need to get to the next number. So your situation, it doesn't fucking matter. You're not supposed to be here.
No.
And that's wrong.
It is. It is really, really wrong.
And that's why we have all the issues we have going on in the States. Look how nice she was. People are sending thank yous. They're like, oh, we got them. You want to put your pants on? Yeah, we'd like you to do that. They were so kind and, non-threatening.
Right.
We can learn a lot from our friends in Canada.
So what happened to you if there was a guy in your trunk and he's like, hey, and I mean, what is your first reaction?
Me?
Yeah, you. If some guy,
I probably freak out. I had a guy in my car before. I freaked out, but the guy that was in my car was evident. He was drunk. It was after work, summertime. I was going down the marina in Michigan. There's a lot of restaurants at the ends of marinas, right? And so I was one of the wait staff there. And as I'm approaching my vehicle, I see two legs hanging out of the driver's seat and the driver door cracked open. Now, this is 2:30 in the morning, right? So I'm thinking it's my ex-husband, because at the time he had rode the bike up to the marina with the kids earlier in my shift to say hi while I was working outside. And then I realized my ex-husband wears socks, and these 2 feet didn't have socks, right? So I'm like, so I start to inch towards it, and I'm like, hey, and I see that it's not him, and it's a man dumped over the inside of the car on, the center console, and he's got a 40 in his lap and cigarettes, like unsmoked cigarettes, like he was trying to get it out of the pack. They were all over my car. So I yelled, hey, what are you doing in my car? And he came to, and when he came to, he goes, what? And he tried to come at me, right? Probably I startled him, not thinking. I was trying to wake his ass up. So I grabbed the car door and I swung it so hard that it busted him in the shins. And then I took off running like a crazy person down the marina. There's a guy in my car, right? So it's probably not the most, I was definitely not as calm as her. Hey, bud, what you doing in my car? No, I freaked the fuck out, right? Just like an American. But the police came and they got him out, and they didn't draw guns. Well, maybe they did draw a gun, but he was bleeding on the shins because I whacked the fuck out of him with that car door. I was ready to fight him, but that was my I handled it nothing like her. Nothing like her.
Well, I mean, this poor guy was in the car Friday night, and he finally is able to get out by Tuesday. Like
poor guy.
I mean, like, wow.
Where did he go to the bathroom? He probably pissed in her car. Yeah.
Just in it. Oh, well, he was naked. Like he like you said when I was talking to you last night about the story. You know, he was dehydrated because he's got heater. Like he's cold, and then all of a sudden she puts heaters and humidifiers in the car, like trying to dry the seats. Like it's all. He must have felt pretty nasty getting out of that trunk. So.
Yeah. Oh, Michelle, your mic.
Your mic, yeah.
There you go.
I could just imagine. I mean, 3 days in the car.
Yeah.
Accidents happen in the back trunk of her car.
Well, she said it smelled funny.
Graceful with it. She was like, "It's okay. Just come on."
She was too. She was so understanding.
And we're gonna clean it up for you, but you go have a happy life.
She's like, it was so nice that people were telling me he's okay.
Not mine. They were like, "What the hell was he doing in your trunk? Did you think he cleaned his own mess up? Because that's not our job." Before you take him away, go clean that up right now.
You're gonna.
I went to a rave in Detroit. Well, I actually went to Indiana, and there was a bunch of us. There was, I don't know, about 10 of us, right? We're in this small Mitsubishi Eclipse, and people sitting on top of each other, and there was no room. It was full, and one of the guys that was real small, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go in the trunk." So from Detroit to Fort Wayne, Indiana, is about almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
So he rode in the trunk for 3 hours to get to this party.
Oh.
And when we got there, it was like a clown car, right? Everybody's getting out. And then we get in there, and we're at the door. We're like, "Oh shit." His name was Alex too. Alex is in the trunk. So we had to go back.
Whoops, sorry, bud.
We won't open the trunk, and he was sleeping. So,
that's funny. See, I have a trunk story, but not the same. So I have a cousin who got a lot of warrants, right? So this cousin, he would have his girlfriend, they would come to my house, and his girlfriend would drive, and he would ride in the trunk everywhere they went, because he had a lot of shit going on. And his shit would be funny as fuck, because she would pull up, right? And I run out to the car, and I'm like, "Where's so-and-so at?" She's like, "Oh, he in the trunk." I'm like, "What?" All of a sudden, you see there's 2 seats in the back with an armrest. You see the armrest pop down, boom. "Hey, cuz." He'd stick his I'm like, "What up, though? What you doing in the trunk?" He's like, "Oh, dog, I'm dirty as fuck. I got to be careful. And so, her plates, I don't know about her plates, so I ride in the fucking trunk." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." So, right? So he'd pop it down, and he would hop out through the inside when he got to the house. But the funniest shit was, hanging out at the house for like a couple hours, wherever, smoke some weed. It was time to go, and he'd be like, "All right, back the car up into the driveway, and then I'll get in and hop in through and he would get right back up into the trunk, had a whole little bed set up in there. He's like, "All right, I'm good. All right, I'll see you later. All right, shut the seat." And we would shut the seat. And she would drive the fuck off. And he did that, girl, I mean, at least a year. I mean, every time I seen him, and I was seeing him a lot, right? We were doing business together. His hot ass rode in the motherfucking trunk. Yeah, he did too. I mean, eventually, I think he might have got pulled over or maybe arrested. I'm gonna have to ask him. He's out of prison again now, so we're gonna ask him. But remember that one time? Remember those times you used to ride in the fucking trunk? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Let's go back to the Super Bowl. So 3 friends who have attended every Super Bowl since the original, so 56 years. Will be their last Super Bowl. 3 friends who have attended every Super Bowl are hoping for a memorable contest this year because they probably be their final trip. The big game, 3 men are all in their 80s and have attended every game since the first AFL Championship game was held 55 years ago. 7 miles from this year venue, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. They're meeting at the game once again this year, but the future meeting are in question just because of their age. So they 3 guys.
Oh, that's so awesome.
On the Super Bowl for 55 years. This is their 56th year, and they said maybe next year might not be just because of their age and they're not in the greatest health. So
I love them. I don't even know them, and I love them. That's so awesome.
put it on the screen. They look pretty.
Good for them.
Oh,
that's so great. Look at those brothers.
So they got a shirt that says "Never Miss a Super Bowl Club." There's 3 of them.
That's great.
Great.
Isn't that? Aw.
I mean, you don't find that too often. It's like a rarity to have like a group of people that you do these certain things, and have that longevity of life.
Yes, that their age.
Exactly. It's like, oh my gosh. And
Yeah,
I
they
love
give me
hearing stories
goosebumps.
like that because it's like, oh, there's some possibilities.
Right. I am gonna live till 100. This is great. Yeah, that's sweet. Good for them.
Let me ask you a question. 2 females. Do you love men with ashy feet?
Oh, hell no.
Oh no.
Hell no.
Oh, why? Well, why?
Hands and feet are important. Hands and feet. Hands and feet.
Yeah, it is. Nobody wants you. I don't want nobody touching me with scales. I don't want the bottom of your feet looking like we could grade them for Parmesan. I don't want none of that. You scratch me in the bed. Damn.
I scratch myself. So, you know, what are we going to do? Have a whole, you know,
snagging sheet. Oh, snagging sheet. You got dark sheets. You got all these little flakes in the bed.
No.
Make a skin sandwich.
Oh,
that's so nasty. Oh, that with all the chunky stuff. I'm good.
The reason why I asked you, Shaq is always making fun of himself, which I love Shaq. And Shaq showed his dry skin feet. He says it's not ashy, it's just dry skin. And then I'm going to put it on the screen.
He's funny.
Sure.
He always clowning on himself. You know, before he, oh, never mind. I'll tell you after.
Ooh.
Damn, Shaq.
Look at me, dude. I have found one place that Shaq has not owned.
Look how the ash is the shape of the loafers.
Now he gonna have a foot deal. Watch this. He gonna have a foot deal. You got a foot deal?
You need to use that gold bar.
There you go.
He need to get that lotion.
He got too much money not to have a pedicurist come to his house.
Right? I mean,
but his toenails was yellow and
they curve. That's called onychophagy, when it starts to curve off. I know this because I went to nail school. So
and then he had a big piece of dry skin on his big toe that was just hanging there. I was like, oh. I mean, if I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and can't go back to sleep, I got my little grater and I just be, you know, grating my feet.
Same way.
Promise on there.
I'll get up to go pee and notice something. I'm like, oh, I need to clip that. I will clip it in the middle of the night. I'll be standing over the toilet trying to get the clippings and get the stuff in the lotions.
But I mean, Shaq got all kinds of money. If you were dating Shaq, you got to put up with that.
Oh, no, I don't.
Guess what? I would do his feet for him. I'd be
we would be rubbing those feet for him. We don't get that.
Weekly routine. And I make sure he has a mask on his foot so he can always stay moisturized. You know, we can fix that. But we can't go to bed. I don't care how much money we have. You can't go to bed like that. That's not sexy.
No, you can't put them feet. That's not sexy at all. Don't put them feet in our bed. Don't put them feet in our bed. No, we're gonna put it's so simple. Even just to get that dry skin on, fella, game changer. Load your feet up with lotion, slip a pair of socks over them and sleep with it. Don't let the lotion but don't even let the lotion soak and just like layer it, right? So that it's layered on there. Slip that sock on there. Be careful in the morning though, because when you take it off, it's gonna be snowing. Right, you're gonna pull it down, and it's gonna make it rain, skin cells everywhere. But it will make a world of difference. You do that if they're really bad. Do that every night for a week. I guarantee you'll thank me later. Your woman or whoever you laying up with like that, you'll thank me later. But don't. Are we too old to be talking about how you have to have some kind of a little bit of feet and hand hygiene? Like it's a thing. You should be taking care of those because too, and more on a serious note, as you get older, your feet start to have more issues. If you don't take care of them now, those things are going to affect your health. That is definitely something that affects your health eventually, and you don't want that. That's not like Michelle said. That's not sexy.
It's sure not.
It's not sexy.
We are not being
Drake, how about you with the woman? What would you do if your woman had ashy feet like that?
I would be dating her.
You wouldn't say, baby, let's get you a pedicure?
No.
Oh yeah, you don't like the funky feet.
Oh, he did the boomerang.
Oh yeah. Didn't you just say that about the boomerang the other day? It was just a couple days ago. He done said that. But what I was gonna say before we showed that clip about his funky feet, we just talked about the story about SHAQ making the affordable shoe for kids, right? And it's so funny because this morning on my memories, that story popped up from 3 years ago where he did an interview with somebody. So I think it's funny that he keeps popping up in our feed in regards to feet and shoes. I just thought it was kind of ironic. So
shoes. I'm surprised he doesn't have a foot. I wonder if he's selling his feet pics on those sites.
He might. I mean, I can look him up. I'm just saying, stay tuned. Yes, I just took some cringy video. I just took some cringy feet videos, so it'll be up soon, fellas.
There you go.
Slide my DMs if you want some feet footage.
James Harden to Philadelphia 76ers, so they broke up that trio in Brooklyn, and they send Ben Simmons, former Detroit Piston Andre Drummond, and Seth Curry. Here you go.
Now become the greatest theoretical team in league history.
Weren't you saying they already were?
A team that we almost never got to see. A team that looked absolutely spectacular. And yeah, they were average on defense. Average on defense when you're the greatest offense in the history of Earth is good enough to win. We saw them for 16 games, and they are gone. And you mentioned Kyrie, okay? And I think become
so that
the
was
greatest theoretical team in league.
So I got to ask you a question. I have a beard, but James Harden has like this, like almost like
afro on his face.
Yeah, is that sexy?
I like clean cut personally.
Yeah.
People wear it. Make sure it's groomed right.
I like it groomed. I don't like it really big. Like and I'm not gonna say I haven't seen some nice looking men who have it. They groom it a certain way. I personally don't like it. It's itchy, like all of that. It's kind of in the way, right? So when you go to hug somebody, it's gonna be all up in your neck, or it's when you come face to face, their beard is like on your chest. That I personally don't like it. And I did know a guy though who had a big one, and it was really soft. Like his beard was it was like, how did you get it that damn soft to not be irritating?
He had good product.
He did. He really did, because it was like surprising.
If you're gonna rock it that way, I believe you need to invest into that. You know what I mean? Because you just can't just have something just to be having it. Like maintain it. Like anything else with your skincare, hair care, just maintain it so you can look presentable. Because
Jay
I think
he got a 70s bush on his face, though.
he does. That's what I was just gonna say. So that it reminds me of the 70s bush when they wear the underwear and it's all poofed out on the side when he puts the mask on. So he puts the mask on and it looks like the 70s bush coming out like, what up?
Like, what up, though?
Right, what up, though? With the little panty on his face.
You don't even see his lips. You know what I mean? It's just like.
Right. And you know, he be always having food in it because there's no way that little nothing particles can't food, drink, lint, air, dust. You know, it's hair. Shit, right? Whatever. He going down there doing things, he getting all that juices in there.
Oh no.
Ooh.
That's nasty, you know. I just
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Go wash your hair.
I'm gonna need you to go shampoo that, please.
Immediately. No pass.
Yeah. No, it's just like feet. You ain't getting into bed with that. I'm gonna need you to go wash that up. You got all of today in your beard. You've been out facing the world. Need you to take care of that.
Michelle, are you a Floyd Mayweather fan?
Not really.
Well, he was passing out $100 bills to kids at the Laker game the other day.
Aww.
I think that's cool, and I know he's very charitable. I don't fault him for that. I just think he has just a couple character flaws that I don't really care for him about.
She's a character flaw.
Other than that, I mean, I know he gives to the community.
That's a nice way of saying it.
And, you know,
you got a couple kids.
I like that you give to the community, but no, seriously. But that's kind of his thing, though. You know, he's always been like that because, you know, he likes to give out like that. But then I think also some of it's kind of the attention type of situation. And so, you know, look at me, look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like
the person who feeds the homeless but takes a selfie while they're feeding the homeless.
Right.
He's that guy who wants to feed the homeless but take a selfie while doing it.
Right.
Right. But see, my whole thing is why don't you open up a homeless shelter? Why don't you buy a piece of property and open up some transitional houses
for the kids?
You know what? Get one single mother with a bunch of kids and buy her a house, and all she got to do is pay property taxes for the rest of her life.
There you go. So, Floyd, if you're listening, there you go. Here you go.
All giving back. We got people here. They're gonna ask for autographs, so you can take the autographs and go sell it online and make money. But I'm all about giving back to the kids. You get a couple dollars, John. Just give it to them. There you go, love, man. The kids out here selling candy. They ain't doing nothing wrong. Every time I come to the game, don't get $100 from me.
So there you go.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both.
Well, it's no different than, you know, Uncle Russell who runs the streets. You know what I'm saying? He take care of the kids, and then they be like, when I come around, you know, whatever type of
situation. I think it's both. I think some of it is, I think, like you said, yes, he wants to give, he wants to share, but he also wants the recognition for it. So I think that's one of those character flaws, right? It goes in that little pocket.
So we talked on Wednesday with Q, Jeremy GIAMBI. He died of a suicide, but they self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Former died by self-inflicted gunshot wound. This was an updated story according to Medical Examiner. He was only 47 years old, as previously reported. Sources told us that the evidence, the former 7-year Major League Baseball player vet, took his own life earlier this week at his parents' house in the LA area. We told the family member phoned Jeremy around 11 a.m. on Wednesday and immediately called 911. So unfortunately, they thought it was suicide, but now they found out he died because of a self-inflicted wound.
Oh man.
So was it accidental or was it suicide?
No, it was suicide.
Oh, okay. But that was the way of suicide.
Yeah.
So sad. There's and I swear we just had this conversation last night where every day it's so and so's cousin committed suicide. This person committed suicide. This father took the lives over here in Arizona. There's Drake and his daughter were telling me there's a man who had custody of his children. One was like second grade. The other one was early teens, 14, and he killed both children and then took his own life. You just don't know what somebody is going through. You really don't.
You really don't. And I, in my field, we deal with that a lot. And I always tell people, you don't talk down to them because they're playing a movie that exists in their mind. And they really don't feel anybody can understand or connect to what they're feeling. And so even though they know people care for them and that they're going to be greatly missed if something ever happens, but it's just this loud voice in their head that's just like, let's just do it. Let's get it over with. Let's stop feeling this. I don't want to wake up to any more pain. I don't want to wake up to these thoughts. I don't want to, and it's such a big combination, but it is really sad because, we lose. I always say the grave is the most wealthiest place in the world because everybody who has prematurely died, all their gifts are in that land. You know what I mean? So it's kind of sad that, they don't, it's not that they want the help, but they just don't know how to accept the help. And you just don't know what people are going through, the bullying, the shaming. It doesn't matter how, handsome or gorgeous you are, or if you're one that doesn't feel like, they have any type of appeal to themselves. But it's really sad though. Because even my son for 5 years was very suicidal. And no matter how much we tried to do intervention with him, he just had it set in his head that, I want to die. And for 5 years, I just didn't know if I was going to get a phone call. And we always try to keep people around him, make sure that he wasn't harming himself. But it was just like, it's torment for them and everyone that they're connected in their community.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So just like we say all the time, check on your friends, check on your family, just to see if they're okay, especially during these times. COVID, inflation, bread costs $4, gas is $4, all this crazy stuff. Now we're going to jump into local news in Detroit. I don't know if you heard, but there's a big problem. Protesters at the Ambassador Bridge in my area, neck of the woods, South Detroit. This is the Canadian side. A judge has granted injunction to end Ambassador Bridge truck blockade. Now the Ambassador Bridge, Michelle, it is in Detroit, in Southwest Detroit, and it connects Windsor. But here it is. This is what's going on.
What we want is peace and to live our lives and follow the Bill of Rights. To have life, liberty, and the pursuit of personal property and happiness. That's all we've ever wanted, and that's, I think, what every Canadian wants. And to have these ridiculous, illegal mandates when there's no scientific data.
Each one of us Canadians have done what we had to do. And now he's not listening to us. So we're going to make him listen to us. Us Canadians. My husband is a truck driver. And he's not working because of all of this. But he understands why it's being done. I have grandchildren. I grew up in a free country. It's supposed to be a free country. But we see it's not.
So and I'll tell you the story. Basically, they're not allowing U.S. truck drivers across the bridge if they're not vaccinated, and so they're blockading. So this, a lot of people don't know that, but Detroit is the biggest between Southwest Detroit and Canada. That's one of the biggest international border crossings in North America. because they transfer so much goods from Canada to United States, and then they go to New York because that's a shortcut to get to New York, to New York City. So there's a big problem going on. So I just
messaged my friend to see if she's busy to call in and talk about it.
Yeah, Shannon works for something, right?
Yeah. She works for a broker that is at the border, so she's right in the middle of all of the fuckery. So I'm just curious to see what she has to say. So we'll see if she responds during the show.
So this is something that's close to home. I wanted to bring this up because you were coming on the show, Michelle. There you go.
So the concept is that because they're not vaccinated, they can't come on. They can't cross over.
Correct, because if you think if you're a truck driver, you're mostly a contractor, right? You kind of work for yourself. Some truck drivers work for companies, but if you work for yourself, you're like, I don't need to fucking get vaccinated. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. Can you put the what's the number again?
It is. Oh, you wanted to call in 602-699 6101. Let me connect the show with the mic. Here you go. Let me put that on the screen. You see it?
Yeah, she'll if she's available, she's gonna call in. So.
Okay, so I wanted to bring this because I know you work with the homeless. Here you go.
Good web. Abraham Lincoln.
At the heart is the story of Abraham.
So the next story is basically in San Francisco, the guy saying man claims city practically pays him to be homeless as California residents sound the alarm on crime.
Oh, is that her?
Yeah. Hey, we got a caller. Who's on the line?
Hello, caller.
Hey, can you hear us? Hello?
What, you guys need a border expert or something?
Yeah, go ahead. The judge just lifted the injunction to end Ambassador Bridge trucker blockade. Tell us what's going on at the border.
So it's primarily on the Windsor side. It's due to all of the mandates that Canada still has in place due to COVID.
Okay.
They're recently required truck drivers that come back and forth over the border, even with vaccinations, having to quarantine, and they're tired of living on lockdown is basically what it is. And so they figure blocking the borders and blocking the millions and millions of dollars is going to get Trudeau to lift all of the lockdown.
So, but they're not allowing U.S. truck drivers to come across, are they?
No, they're not. It's the Ambassador Bridge has been completely no traffic going both ways.
Both ways.
Wow.
So
which is a hindrance to us because we have a lot of doctors and nurses that actually live in Canada but work in U.S. hospitals in Detroit.
So that's going to be a clusterfuck because it's got to be totally destroying Canada's economy there in Windsor.
Well, it's hurting ours as well. We have a lot of customers that are not getting their parts. I know for us in particular, we have 4 different clients that literally their plant had to shut down for 2 days.
Yeah, because
what it's doing is because these trucks can't cross the border in Detroit, they have to now go either to the Blue Water Bridge in Port Huron or go back through Canada all the way to Buffalo. But because all of these trucks are diverting, it's creating 2, 3, 4 hour wait times just to get on the bridge to the U.S. side.
So I know Mr. Ford that actually runs the Ford Motor now. He made a statement and he's, unfortunately he's upset about the whole thing that's going on because it is affecting the big 3. It is the Motor City and they do have Ford, GM, and Chrysler there. So like you said, they're not there's plants that are not getting their parts.
No, not at all. I mean, honestly, part of it, where my office for the company I work for, where our office is located, is literally a mile off when you come off the bridge into Windsor. And it's probably a good thing most of our staff are still working remotely, because they would have never been able to get into our office because it's blocked.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
That is just nuts. So I grew up in Southwest Detroit, and that bridge is so familiar to me. Actually, my grandmother owned a house that was under that bridge, and I used to, see the bridge every day. So it is crazy that there is no traffic going across. So.
Just watching, I'm not physically at the border anymore because I work in our head office, but just seeing no cars on that bridge is very creepy.
Yeah, it's very, very creepy.
It really is.
I bet. I can only imagine. Yeah, that's creepy. Well, hopefully this doesn't last too long.
Thanks for calling in. Thanks for telling us all what's going down. And
yes, thank you.
And Ambassador Bridge, you heard it here. So thank you.
Thanks, Shannon.
Guys, have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, like I said, I got this. That's just crazy because it's
so crazy. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
But that goes back to that inflation.
Yep.
Create a shortage, then we charge more in the other end, and it affects the middle class. I mean, it affects everybody, but the ones who are really struggling to get those goods is all because of this inflation. And it goes back to what Tori's saying earlier, that there's nothing on the shelves at the grocery store.
Yeah.
There's very limited quality. So when we have that, that means everything goes higher, inflation is crazy, and
And then, like Shannon said, how many shops had to shut down just because they couldn't get parts, because they're literally working, like most people, you're not check to check, but job to job. So you take away their core jobs for that pay period, and what do? How do they keep sustaining? Do they keep running a building without income coming in? It's a domino effect.
Yeah, we're not talking about parts, man. There's probably produce on there. There's probably
everything.
Dairy, you know what I mean? And that's why we're paying $4 for bread. So, like I said, this story, I know you work with the homeless, Michelle. So the San Francisco man says it's a homeless man says it's practically the city pays him to remain homeless. Here you go.
I mean, if we're going to be realistic, they pay you to be homeless here. This right now is literally by choice. Literally by choice. Like, why would I want to pay rent? I'm not doing I got a cell phone that I have Amazon Prime and Netflix on. Now, it's like the cops it's like they're your neighbor,
They're paying me to be homeless? A San Francisco homeless man bragging to our next guest that not only does the city pay him to live on the streets, but he also sells fentanyl to kids. San Francisco reported 650 drug overdose deaths last year, nearly 3/4 of them related to fentanyl. Michael Schellenberger is the author of San Francisco, Why Progressives Ruin Cities, and he's the man behind that interview in that video you just saw. Michael Schellenberger joins us now. Amazing interview, amazing revelations and admissions there. What else did you learn from that homeless man on the streets of San Francisco?
Well, he really just, the truth is not much. I interviewed hundreds of people for my book, San Francisco. People tell very similar stories. People are attracted to San Francisco because it offers the most generous welfare benefits. You heard him mention $620 a month in cash welfare, plus he gets $200 a month in food stamps. People that come for the food stamps, they often trade illegally for cash. They use all the money to buy drugs. He did confess also that he had sold fentanyl to a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old. That's also pretty common behavior. I think we've had a very romantic view of folks on the streets. Certainly there is the proverbial mother escaping an abusive husband with her 2 kids who doesn't have any underlying drug or mental illness problems, but a lot of the folks that we've been attracting to California, are people that are escaping the law, are drug addicts, and are seeking really to take advantage of the system.
So Michael, you lived in San Francisco for...
So I don't know if you've noticed, and like I said, you work with the homeless, Michelle. I don't know if you've noticed, but it seems in the last couple of years, man, there is so many homeless people in Phoenix, Arizona. So many people on the streets. What's going on?
Michelle? Get him, Michelle.
What's going on with the homeless?
There's a combination factor that plays into it. For one, we're dealing with dual diagnosis, and when I say dual diagnosis, that's because somebody's either on substance abuse and then they have a mental illness. Because we have funding in the state, but a lot of it's allocated to a lot of different areas. And human services has always been the one to get hit first, rather it be with children, adults, or whatever the case. We'll put our monies in other things, but we won't put it into creating sustainable living. Like you said, inflation right now. Rent is atrocious. Before 5 years ago, you could pay 4-bedroom, $800. Now that 4-bedroom is now $1,500 to $2,200. A 1-bedroom or a studio used to be $700. Now we're talking about $1,000, maybe $1,100, just depending on what area you're in. And so,
up to 14. I've seen them $1,400 for a 1-bedroom.
So you have a combination of factors of people. You have people who are homeless who just want to be homeless. You have people who checked out because life was whatever it was, and they had a breakdown, and they can't grasp themselves. Those ones you can catch if they will allow you to help you. And then you have some that I fell on hard times. And those are the ones you really want to work with, because they'll literally contribute to help ending their own homelessness. And so, you get things in place for those individuals, then they're becoming successful. But, between, the fentanyl, that is a number one killer on the streets. I mean, we were doing outreach maybe a couple months ago. This dude was very vocal and somewhat proud that he OD'd 4 times in 1 week. And I was like, honey, can we get you off the streets? And he's like, I just need to be clean for 1 day. But he was like, these blues are all over the place, and there's easy access and it's cheap. And so, they're consciously not thinking about their well-being. They're thinking about that moment. And so it's crazy, because it's just not enough funding put it into where it can make it affordable for people, because it's not just we have a very young age group, and then we have older people, and those are the ones that are on fixed income and can't either I pay my rent, buy groceries, or pay for my medication. It only can be one of those. And so, I mean, even to live in a senior center community, you're talking about $2,500, $3,300. Like Social Security ain't nothing but between $700 to $1,500 a month. So that's why we're seeing that.
Is it cheaper to live on the streets? Like he said, San Francisco practically pays me to live on the streets. Is it cheaper to live on the streets?
It's cheaper. So with the homeless community, they have their they have a community within their community. Put it like that.
A camp.
And so each encampment depending on what type of group or who you want to be around with, that's who you get with. And so they come together and they help support each other, and they help keep each other safe. And they do. So, I mean, I had a gentleman come in my office one day, and he was like, I'm okay with a tent, Michelle. I need bus money to get to where I need to go to. And I was like, all right, well, here's your bus money, and come and see me when you need help. But it is because they pull together as one, and they look after each other.
There's like groups, right? Like,
right.
And you were telling me, like, okay, the elders are over here. The people who, they got little families, and they're not on no fuck shit. They're here. All the people who are on fuck shit, you better stay over here. Don't come near our areas. Because I was like, how do you?
The ones that, I just want to be homeless and be okay. Then you got the ones that I like a little drama, and then you got the ones that like, let's party, turn up all the time type of situation, and we don't even care what's going down. It's a vast.
What what about the mother that is abused and she has a couple of kids and she's, you know what I mean? Like,
it's really rough because we're kind of capped out, and we really need more properties for those DV situations.
We were just talking about that with the families.
The average person might have to wait on a waiting list for almost 2 weeks with their kids while they're homeless, because either there's no funding to put them in a hotel until that program makes a room available, but it's I mean that's
a woman that is escaping from a bad situation, domestic violence, and she has no other choice.
No,
you know?
And so they'll try to get a hold of some of us and see if we'll pay for a couple of nights. And there is a couple of agencies, but after those couple of nights, where does she go then? She may not have a car to sleep in like others do, so she got her 2 babies. And but they did create a program recently where it's not that your child gets going through the Department of Child Safety, but what they do is they have families take their children until they can actually get back on their feet. And so DCS is not involved. It's not a CPS type of situation. It's just that they can't take the parent, but they'll care for their children until the parent can actually get on their feet. And that's been somewhat successful. It's not really that old, but it's helped out a couple of families that are okay, because you're kind of torn as a parent, like, I'm about to give my child to a total stranger because of my whole situation. But do you swallow it and allow your kids to be in a safe place while you go into a program where you can kind of bounce back? It's a twist, but I think we just need to allocate funds and stop being so top heavy in our organizations and give it to where it needs to be. Because I think it was somebody who gave, it was like almost 800,000, and I was getting ready to go dispersed out, and I was like, why don't we use that 800,000 and subsidize these people's rent for 1 year? They're required to put money in the savings. They're only paying 35% of whatever their rent is. So when they get done, and do like some financial education with them, because a lot of people don't know how to, work their money.
Yeah.
So I was like, they get financial education. They're mandated to show for a whole year bank statements showing that the other 75%, the 65% is going into a savings after they didn't pay all their expenses. I said, when they're done with that in a year, they'll have a savings where they can pay a couple of months worth of rent and still have that sustainability. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when you see the administration, the government administration that says, hey, we're going to pass out crack pipes and needles and all that stuff. I mean, what is it? Is that the right thing to do? Because I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're like, it's about time. We're the only country that doesn't do that. There's other countries that do that. That kind of, if you're a druggie, they kind of make sure that you get the right stuff, so you're not ODing and you're not getting a dirty needle. So is that money that they're passing out for crack pipes and needles, do you think that should be allocated to homeless people?
I think it should be allocated to, any community service area, because I mean, homelessness, it's so diverse, but at the same time, I mean, there's other under the umbrella, there's other incomes that actually need that funding. I mean, we have seniors who are veterans who fought for our country, don't have really good benefits, or they were dishonorably discharged, and because they're dishonorably discharged, they can't get VA benefits. They need those type of services or funding so that they can be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think the money should, instead of paying for if you want to do your drug, then do your drug. Get all that stuff together. That's your thing. And if you either have to figure out what you want in life or not, but at the same time, give the money to where it can actually do a change and a purpose. Because hell, you can go to a tattoo shop and catch hepatitis C, and at the end of the day, ain't nobody giving that to the tattoo shop artists to make sure their needles are clean. I mean, it's just I think it's appalling, because I mean, I've been in social services for 20 some years, and I'm in the forefront. I don't work in the office where I deal with the grants and stuff, and I see a lot of
So when you see the
fuckery.
administration pass out, they're giving millions for these crack pipes. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Did you see that, Michelle?
I heard about it.
Well, and they're not calling them crack pipes; they're calling them smoking kits.
Well, at the end of the day, so when your smoking kid ODs on a clean pipe that you gave to them, then what you gonna do?
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, ain't nothing for sure. I mean, we don't know what we take in. Everything is laced down there with fentanyl. So what precautions are you trying to preserve a child from, having a clean needle? Because when you're high, you don't think about your needle being high, clean. You're getting high.
Yeah.
It's like, let's do this. I mean, there might be some OCD junkies, but at the end of the day, most of them don't care. They just ready for their fix.
Right? I would be the OCD junkie.
Money, honestly. Don't pay my money.
You can't smoke on my crack pipe. You might have COVID.
Get the Lysol wipe. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're under the influence, you're not thinking about let's do it safe. We're going to be safe and have a check off list. No, you're getting check
list. Check off list to smoke the crack.
We've done our sanitation procedure. We may proceed to the next, stage of the game. It's not
how that works. It's not how that works.
University of Alabama will remove Klan name from campus building after all. In Birmingham, Alabama, University of Alabama trustee voted Friday to strip the name of one-time governor who led the Ku Klux Klan from campus building, renamed it slowly the school's first black student. I know they're taking down flags, they're doing this and this and this. This is way overdue, don't you think, Tori? This is way overdue. This should not even be a question. Why?
Oh, it shouldn't even be a question. It's way overdue. We're so past it that and kind of resorting back to what we spoke about with Q last week on why, here in Arizona, we don't see a lot of people honoring Black History Month, right? And then we asked him, do you see that in Detroit? And he said, no, not really, because they're kind of trying to counterbalance with if we don't talk about it, maybe it'll just be a normal thing and it's not just a 1 month, once, a 1 month of the year. So I feel that same way on these things that are being removed and these, images of bigotry and hatred and racism and all these things. It's long overdue. There shouldn't even be a press conference about it. Just fucking change it and stop putting attention to it, because there's always going to be the naysayers and the fucking people are going to, you're erasing our history. No, that's not what we're doing. We're not erasing history. We're correcting your wrongs. There are things that happen in the history that we're not proud of, and you're trying to put it on everybody else to be proud of this fuck shit. And we can't change what happened, but we can, moving forward, teach people that this is wrong. We are not going to honor this. We're not going to put a fucking statue in commemoration of this fucking killer and this bigot and this person who owned other people. We're not going to do that. And killed people and lynched them because of the color of their skin. So long overdue. Long overdue.
I don't know if you put the show on Wednesday. So Q said that he was on a phone call and the guy was talking about the Confederate flag, and basically he was painting a different narrative of the Confederate flag instead of being
a super white guy.
Yeah, so instead of saying he was racist, he said basically the Confederate flag kind of stands for us basically against the government. So basically they were painting a different narrative of the Confederate flag, saying, hey, you know what? It's not about race. It's basically saying that we're not agreeing with the government. What do you?
Because there's multiracial people inside the government now. Is that what you're saying?
Right. I said, so basically that's like saying the KKK hood is just a pointed hat now, right? We're just trying to change the narrative of.
And I want to sit my ass in the corner, because my hat is pointy,
Right, exactly.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He said I got real quiet and things got real awkward on the call, and it was a business call, and this guy was like super white from like Vermont, right? He only ate white cheddar, one of those kind of guys, right? And so he's like, yeah, I just kind of changed the subject, but he totally tried to change the perspective of, well, maybe if we just slap this Nike sign on the pointed hat, people will buy it now.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Is let's just let's change it up a little bit, so it don't
the narrative
attention, but it still has the meaning behind it, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's what society does every day.
It's just another way to hide your racism. Let's call it something else. You know what I mean?
Right. Say you're a racist without saying you're a racist.
Yeah, so let's change the KKK color hat. Let's just make it pink, and then it'd be nice. It's for gays and blacks, right?
So they're gonna put a rainbow on their shit too.
Yeah,
rainbow. Right. Oh hell!
You know what I'm saying? I just think they need to stop. Just it is what it is. It was messed up, and things need to change. And you can't hold on to your ancestors' roots because guess what? It's a new age, and people ain't dealing. They're not gonna put up with that no more.
right.
It's generation.
I told Tori this story last night. This kind of irritates me, but she said, "What? Oh my God!" So Coco did a rare look into her $1 million shoes.
She be showing it all the time on her Instagram. I already know what it looks like. It's fabulous.
It's too much. I wish
Coco's closet is fucking amazing.
Isn't it much? But I'm like, it'll never be enough. Never. It'll never be enough. Like never ever is never enough. And they will never be enough.
Damn, that's nice.
It's a beautiful closet. I follow her on IG. It is. So she's got it color coordinated, and she also has it coordinated by brands. So, all like Louis Vuittons are in one area, and Manolo, what's that?
New release.
Mm-hmm. So listen, welcome to the foot game world, right? So she has a very curved arch foot. A lot of people, if everybody knows who Coco is, Coco got them body parts popping, right? So she has a lot of followers that follow her because she got a banging booty, she got a tiny waist, she got big old jugs, right? And she does a lot of leg and foot pictures. So she is constantly posting pictures of her feet. She constantly has fans that comment on it. They want her to change her toenail colors and all that, but she does it with different shoes. She has an amazing workout that she does in high heels, and I did it. And let me tell you, I'm thinking about starting it again because it really gets your booty like, and she does these squats, but it's a special kind of squat where she does this specific thing with her arm when she does it. And I mean, her shoes are part of her branding, right? It's part of her persona. It's just like the model that wears just swimsuits. You have to have how many swimsuits? You're not going to take the same picture, all these pictures in the same swimsuit, right? You're not going to, the model that wears just suits, you're going to find new suits. So what's the difference with her shoes? And I think you had said, and I quote, if I was her husband, I would tell her that's enough. Baby girl, make her own money, okay? She gonna spend it like she wants to. She supplies herself with her funds. Yes, nice that, I tease her husband, but guess what? She ain't going broke if it wasn't for him. She's making that money. She can spend it how she wants.
Oh,
Her closet is amazing too. She be doing photo shoots in there and everything. I love her. She's gold.
I do want to learn the squat thing because
I'll show you. We can do it together. Yeah. I'll show you.
So more violence breaks out in Purdue University.
Hell.
Purdue University campus cop accused of police brutality.
You are on video.
You're punching me.
You're hurting him.
Stop.
You are hurting him.
You're hurting me.
You get off of him. You're on video.
People here now, please.
You are on video.
Nicole.
I'm done. I can't do anything.
Please. No, please.
You're hurting him. You're hurting him. Can you take your elbow off his fucking neck?
You've been disrespectful this whole
Take
time.
your elbow off his neck.
Please get off.
Take your elbow.
I told you not to. She's not in danger. Stop.
You'll tase me. What am I doing to you? I have this on video. I'm trying to get your elbow off my boyfriend's neck.
You're choking me.
You're choking me. No.
So
shit.
This is a university cop.
So what's the pre-story? Did he attack him or no?
The police officer is being accused of police brutality after a very physical arrest of a black man named Adonis Togo. As much arrest was recorded by girlfriend. Video was posted by someone named someone else. Unclear she's a person shooting it or not. But the footage shows the officer in a scuffle, pinning Adonis snow-covered ground while screaming out in pain. It appears the cop is holding Togo down by pushing his elbow into his neck and his face, recording and yelling at the officer, stop. She actually tapped the officer at one point and telling her that he will tase her. As for led up to this incident, Purdue University Police Chief John Cox told us the call came in last Friday from a third party saying it appears a woman was being held against her will. He said it was no physical injuries suffering during the arrest. Mr. Adonis posted social media saying that he's demanding justice. The claims Purdue PD is refusing to turn over body cam footage from the incident. So he was there must have been some kind of a domestic violence between him and his girlfriend. A cop came out and he tried to arrest him, and then that's what happened.
But did they identify him as the person that was in that confrontation with the young lady? Because are they seeing that he fits the suit of it, or
they haven't said yet? But yeah,
because he almost dang near smothered him in that snow,
and he didn't look like he was fighting back. He looked like he was laying there just trying to get free. He didn't look like he was trying to, struggle with him. So that's why I asked the backstory, not saying that there are things that warrant you to get, held down like that with anybody's arm on your neck. But was she in danger? And so he was trying to help her. And then the narrative flipped and she's like, let go of my boyfriend, because he starts, man, it's so hard to judge things, you know what I'm saying? Because you only see parts of it, right? And you see the bad parts because that's when the cameras come out. So it's like, okay, was that officer, the campus officer, was he attacked? Was he protecting somebody? Was this guy, what was happening before? God, I wish we could just see the befores that happened. Because sometimes in these incidences that end badly, there really was something happening before, and this officer or this liaison, this person was originally trying to help, and then shit just snowballs into all kinds of fuckery, and it's out of control at that point, right? Because tempers are flared and adrenaline is going, and somebody's in your face with a camera, and you're thinking you're trying to do the right thing, and now she's telling you, let him go. Like, what? So that's why I said, well, what was the backstory on this? Or like you said, was it even them too that was the domestic violence reported even with them? Because a lot of times it's when you're on campus too, there's groups of kids. They walk around. They don't have cars. That's what they do. They walk from this building to that building. And, it could have been two other people. So you got me all in my feels with that one. All in my feels with that one. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And that's somebody's son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he could have tased his ass and then put him in handcuffs, put him in the car. Done deal.
Yeah.
But he's in shorts and snow, literally about to swim in some snow.
Yeah.
He's getting pushed down into it. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So once again in the skies, Frontier Airlines, utter chaos in the air. Passengers threaten the passenger and fights erupt. Here you go. More stuff on Frontier, and this is why I don't fly Frontier. Just being honest.
We got our own little frontier story.
Man.
We got our own frontier video.
If you are not involved in a situation, you're playing there now.
No. Hey, change your mouth. My ACL is tall. You can't do this.
I guess they're taping him to the seat right now.
Oh, hell.
Hey, y'all do something. Y'all do something. Don't let me go. No.
So
I literally just had a flashback of our flight.
Yep, I thought about that.
I'm watching The View, right? And I'm like, this is like when Michelle was filming in between the seats. And I kept tapping her and I'm like, get your camera out. Oh, it's about to happen again. Oh, here it comes again. Get your camera out. And that dude that was screaming, you can't do this, man. I was just waiting for him to yell out 7 Mile. Because that's what the guy on our flight.
He did. He was such a butt, man. I was like, put the damn mask on. We all don't want to wear masks, okay?
But I don't know. We had a flight attendant that was not to be fucking played with.
He was like, I will lay this damn plane down.
He let everybody know at the beginning of the flight. He had a whole thing where he told you, if you want to fucking try me, go ahead. We're prepared. And at that moment, I knew that someone was either going to get taped or hog-tied to their seat. And I was ready for the shits, right? I was like, Michelle, get your phone. Get your phone. It's about to happen now. And we had several unruly people. So I don't know. I like the whole citizens arrest thing. I know, like, you can't fucking act right on a plane. Maybe you should be tied to your seat like we're in fucking kindergarten. Maybe that's what we need to do now. Take this motherfucker down. Take him down. We got shit to do.
Okay. Delaying my time getting where I need to go.
So what happened was the Frontier flight headed to Orlando had to make emergency stop landing after things got absolutely crazy in the air. The flight had to be taken off Wednesday night from it looks like New York City. At some point, the male passenger started flipping out. Eyewitness, the man accused the lady behind him, sticking him with a needle, trying to steal his DNA.
Oh, he's crazy. On top of it,
he needed his ass taped.
Oh, he definitely needed to be taped because, you know, just from our experience and my other times on the flight, like when you're sitting there and there's that one combative person and you're like, motherfucker, I got another flight I need to. You're like, I got a flight, you know, that's a connecting flight that I need to make, and you're fucking with this whole flight right now. Now you're fucking with my time. I did all the protocols. I made sure there was nothing in my fucking carry-on. I got rid of all my weed, all my food they didn't want me to bring, all the things that I can't do. I did my part, and now you're fucking this up. Somebody get the fucking duct tape and the Gorilla Glue right now, because ain't nobody got time for this shit. So he over here talking about you're trying to steal my DNA. Oh, this motherfucker crazy. No, ain't nobody got time for that. Tie him the fuck down or get him off. But we got about 28 minutes, so make it fucking happen.
Exactly.
Or
you know what? You know what? They could go back to the old days when they had straight jackets. Put that on, you know how they do the whole display, you know, this is the mask, how you work it, the whole demonstration. And at the end they should conclude with a straight jacket, and this is what your ass will be put in if you trip between here and there.
Yeah. Yep. And you signed that when you bought that ticket.
That was your waiver.
That was your fucking waiver. Don't play with me. And you know what's funny, as our flight attendant, he was gay. He had a little sugar in him, you know, he was sweet. So he fucking snapped and had his whole head. He snapped his neck when he told it, and it really just put a little on the warning. I liked it.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Then Frontier makes.
Could you imagine being in flight and RuPaul putting a fucking straitjacket on you because you want to talk shit about the snacks?
Then that's when I would have 2 phones out, one taking, one recording. Been like,
I don't know what they're putting in the water in Pennsylvania, but a man allegedly beheaded his girlfriend with a machete. There you go.
What?
That's sad.
Oh, there's no audio.
This was where at?
This is in Pennsylvania. Yeah, there's no audio. That's weird.
Wow.
Let me get the story up here. Sorry. Man allegedly killed his girlfriend. Officer responded to a report of domestic violence in Clifton Heights on Thursday. Witness neighbor who called the police said they heard a loud scream bang from a nearby apartment. Afterwards, the apartment became quiet, and witness heard
Winter Sports Explained with Dan O'Toole.
Sprawling like sounds and gathering shifting plastic material, police reported. Upon arrival of the scene, officers reported noticing Scurry sitting on a mattress inside the apartment and noticed that he was allegedly sawed off the leg in an already decapitated victim.
Oof.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
And it
He
said
was ready to dismember her entire body at that point.
Tried to cut off my balls, he said. When
So he was cheating.
Something.
Oh my gosh.
That poor woman.
He looks like he was on drugs anyways.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
Trying to get rid of parts of her body. Yeah, he was cutting body parts.
Oh no, he was gonna do the freezer action. That's not cool. But you want
Look, I mean,
she said, I know that's not funny, but
it's like, okay, you want to put millions of dollars in giving out clean needles and crack pipes so that we could have this type of shit happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He definitely looks like he'd be going to get a smoking kit.
He's like, I need my, you know how they have the Obama phones that we don't have, you know.
I need my Biden kit.
Biden kit. There you
go. I need my, what we call it, our crack pack. I need my crack pack, please.
Jerry Harris
that's sad.
Of Cheer pleads guilty to federal child pornography case. Jerry Harris, seen as here discussing Cheers as building studio. It looks like some kind of a Netflix series. Jerry Harris is a former star of Netflix series Cheer, appeared in federal court in Chicago Thursday afternoon, where he pleaded guilty to one count of receiving child pornography, endangerment, and sexual acts with a minor. In December 20th, 2020, Harris was charged with 7 counts indictment that was filed in U.S. District Court in Northern Illinois. In the plea agreement with the government, Harris pleaded guilty on Thursday to 2 charges of incidents stating receiving child pornography, engaging interstate travel to meet a 15-year-old boy who engaged sexual relationship. I don't know how old this guy is. He doesn't look that old. He looks like a young kid.
And where is he from?
Illinois.
No. You said he was on, there was a show?
Netflix Cheer.
He's on that show?
He was.
Oh.
He was on.
He's a pedo.
Yeah, he doesn't look that old. Maybe in the early 20s, maybe.
Oh, he's so young. He's young.
Yeah.
That's sad. He's again, so he's going to meet 15-year-old boys. So he's closet gay.
I guess, but I don't know. He can't be having sex with minors. He needs to be.
No, he can just go on that thing that Dale goes on.
Grinder.
Taylor Richard. I couldn't remember the name. Grinder. I was like, what's the thing? Right. Just go have fucking wild gay sex on Grinder. Like, there's tons of guys that are willing to come over and fuck you and steal shit out of your house, like Dale.
Exactly. I just never understood the concept of how anybody would want to mess with a child when there's so many people giving out ass, like, you passing out tampons and
for real.
I just don't get it. And it's like, okay, is it because you can manipulate this child to do what you want, or this adult? Are you worried about the shame because you can't perform to the way you want? You're supposed to and stuff, and it's just, it behooves me that how could you mess with a kid? Like,
there's so many adults out there. There's somebody for everybody. Like, and then you got to think even deeper. You have an attraction to kids.
That part right there, like, they're not even fully developed. They have innocent little bodies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their mindset is, of a child. Like, what's the factuation about that? Even with men that are, or women that are attracted to babies, I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Or what about the men that are, this one kind of got me weird. And I have an acquaintance, I won't call him a friend, he's an acquaintance. I was friends with his brother who has passed away now. But he's a big guy, but he always dated, he liked tiny women, but the women that he liked, he would say, I like a woman who has a little, basically childlike body. Like, he's married now, and even his wife, no boobs, no little, pre-adolescent, right? Like, it's just weird to me. Like, that's not a woman's body. Yeah, she is a woman. Yeah, she's got a woman's job. You talk to her, she's like a woman. But he's a very, men are very visual creatures, right? So they're gonna like a certain body type or a certain whatever, and he is attracted to that. And it always struck me weird. Like, not saying she's not pretty, right? Not saying she doesn't deserve to be loved. But what I'm saying is he has a specific, that's what he loves. Like, he likes that little childlike body. And I don't know, I was like, this is kind of weird to me. It's weird. Like, there's a infatuation with it. All of his girlfriends all look the same. They all, from behind, you stood him up with a group of middle schoolers from behind, you wouldn't know which one she is.
Oh,
that's weird. That's a little strange to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially if that's like the common thread type of situation.
Yeah.
It has to be like that. But yeah, I just, even if you can get into their mind, like, what the hell were you thinking? Like, is there even a right answer for this shit, though? It's like, I just don't understand why you're attracted to a kid.
Well, what about the people who are trying to make it like acceptable that it's okay to be attracted to children? Like, the things you know what I'm talking about? Those people out there who are thinking it's like, they tell people, I forget who it was, but they're like, it's okay to be attracted to children. It's okay to want to watch child pornography. Like, it's not okay.
I mean, I get it. They did that stuff like in the early 1500s and stuff. As soon as your daughter started her cycle, she became a woman, whether that was 12 or 13. You know what I mean? But that didn't make that stuff right, because that's why that was one of the things that contribute to early deaths, is because their bodies were premature, and you're getting them married to a grown man doing grown man things to this little girl. And then, she's having all these complications with a lot of her female organs and stuff like that. And she eventually either they're having death of stillborns, or they're having it was a combination factor. So, because a lot of people were like, well, that's what they did back in the days, but it didn't make it right. There might be some things that are lawful, but don't make it right, though. It's just like, let them be kids. They don't have no business being intertwined with anything that is sexual. And I think that's another thing, is that this whole world is so perverted, and they don't take in consideration of these children. And then we have these kids being flipped on, and it's just crazy.
You see a lot of it, the opposite. You either see, men like this story, a man going after a male. But what about what they don't talk about, Drake, like the older women that are grooming the younger men?
Ooh, that is so real.
Like, did you ever have that growing up, Drake, where you had an older woman trying to groom you or any of your friends, and you guys were like, I know some guys are like, oh, so-and-so's mom's hot, but did you ever have it where like, that's fucking weird?
No, I wasn't. No, I don't think any of my friends were into older chicks. I think I posted a meme yesterday that said, all these older women dating these younger men because they don't know, they weren't born yet when they were a hoe.
well, there's that perspective.
So Sophia shows off her cheeks, topless throwback photo.
She's a nice booty though.
I like her.
I love her accent.
Yeah, she could say whatever.
It sounds so pretty when she says it. It's just like, oh, she's so nice.
Yeah, she's classy. I like her. She's evolved. She's evolved really nicely.
Very much so.
So, like I said, Snoop Dogg, I don't know if you know Michelle, but he recently acquired Death Row Records, but he was accused of sexual assault and battery ahead of the Super Bowl performances. So I hope Snoop Dogg is not in trouble. I hope he performs. He was he's was sued over alleged sexual assault and battery on Wednesday, just days before he's scheduled to perform the Super Bowl.
I need a backstory. And I know this is probably going to get some backlash of, the Me Too movement, whatever. But I'm a Snoop, huh?
It happened in 2013.
Okay, so maybe
I'm being honest with you. So when there was a radio station out here that was popping, it was 92.3, and Snoop was out here. And Snoop was really loose on the radio about what he was doing the night before. He a little freak, you know what I mean? He like his little stuff going on. So I mean, the backdrop is old girl didn't want to go so far.
I didn't read the story. I was just telling you that this is. I hope that they don't pull him from the Super Bowl.
I hope it don't either.
Yeah, I hope not too. I think 2013 probably. I think now day and age, Snoop a grandpa. He a football coach. He he tie his hair up at the end of the night.
Yeah, and he be on there cooking with Martha Stewart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's evolved from that. So I hope it doesn't.
Yeah. But back in the day, he was a little freak, and I mean, you can't knock him for what he liked to do.
Do what he do.
Do what it do, baby.
So America's sweetheart, and I know this is Tori's sweetheart, Betty White, Golden Girls star, B. Arthur, said that she was a cunt. She was a cunt.
I think all the Golden Girls were.
Yeah, don't y'all come for Betty. I told him, I said, don't come for Betty. Like, they want to go ahead and tarnish her little name now that she's gone. Why do you want to bring it up now? All of them are dead.
For being racist, so I mean, what the hell?
Right? I forgot about that. Not that I didn't forget, but I forgot about that. So exactly, they didn't give a fuck. But he said, they called.
He was the nice one, the airhead one type of situation. I liked her on Golden Girls.
Yeah, she was funny. He said, I guess they said that B. Arthur called her a cunt, and they said that she also, I don't know which cast member, but said one of the cast members would forget their lines. I think maybe it was like Sophia or something, and that supposedly she would make fun of her for forgetting her lines. But Drake, when you popped off, what did you say about the racism, Michelle?
Oh, they didn't stop Paula Deen. She's still selling her shit. Opened up a whole ass store too. I mean,
right.
But
Paula
Deen was going on with herself, And she wanted, what was it, the statement? She wanted her son to have a Southern wedding with all Black, African American, I guess we want to say, servers.
Wait staff. Yeah, servers.
I was like, but Paula Dean's ass is up there, though.
Yeah. I said don't come for Betty. I got some of her stuff. Her cast iron skillet is fire. Don't come for Betty, though.
For Golden Girls. Here you go.
Well, Joel, you cast Golden Girls. I came to your book with this sense that Betty White is America's sweetheart, loved by everyone. So, was Betty White popular in the cast of Golden Girls?
No, the women hated her. Literally.
How can you hate Betty White? I can't even understand. Tell me what am I missing?
All right. One of the things is, I mean, literally, B. Arthur, who I cast in something else later on, just said, "Oh, she's a." Using that word. But
B. Arthur called Betty White a C word?
Yeah, she called her the C word. I mean, I heard that with my own ears. And by the way, so did Rue McClanahan. Rue McClanahan said it to me in Joe Allen's. B. Arthur on the set of Beggars and Choosers. What happened was, and they were
so Rue McClanahan specifically said Betty White is a
Yes.
Okay.
And what she would do, for instance, was... And this I remember clearly. Estelle Getty she began to have increasing problems with memorizing lines. And she would write the lines on her hand. And if she went up, Betty White would make fun of her in front of the live audience. You know, that may seem like a minor transgression, but it really does get to you. So, I mean, if those two other women felt that way about her, I don't have no idea of how Estelle Getty felt, but I know the other two did not like her at all.
There you go. So
Listen,
what?
I'm rocking my Golden Girls pajama pants right now. And I'm feeling some type of way about this interview because I love them all. And I don't want to hear that Betty was a cunt. I don't want to know that Betty was cunty. I don't want to know Betty was cunty. I love Betty.
You gotta love the good and the bad, right? I mean,
right? Well, B. Arthur was kind of a bitch too.
Oh yes. Oh, I mean, they're a bunch of women, dude. Catty ass women. You know, it's my standard or no. I don't like you today, but I love you tomorrow. We can be friends in 5 minutes, but don't talk to me at 10.
Don't talk to me at 10. Whatever. I still love you, Betty. I know you up there. Did y'all see the real quick? Did you see the post where it's the girl calling Betty White to check on her after she got to heaven?
No.
And it's like, she like, hey, she like, hello. She dials a number and she dials like, I kid you not, like 52 numbers. She's like, she's like, damn, this number to heaven need to get a little bit a little shorter. And she's like, oh, hey, Auntie Betty, I'm just calling to check on you. Oh, they got you there good. Oh, okay. And she's talking to her, and it's the funniest thing. She asked her, so they say anything about when all this shit down here gonna stop? Oh, they didn't tell you that. Oh, okay. How's the food? How the food? I heard the angels are popping up there. Okay, I'll let you go now. Go get fitted for your robe. We love you. I was like, oh, it's so fucking cute. Whatever. Betty White for president still.
A good t-shirt.
I would. Whatever. Y'all don't come for Betty.
Yeah, so, like you said, there's a bunch of women, you know, they probably irritated each other, you know what I mean? And they probably didn't like each other at times, and they had to put this fake persona on camera, you know what I mean? So
yeah, get that check. So White House encourages Americans to leave the Ukraine after Russia invasion looms. What's your thoughts, Michelle, of us jumping into this, conflict? Should we get involved with Russia invading Ukraine, or should the U.S. stay out of this?
I think we should just stay out of it for a win, kind of see where it's going to go. I mean, because we always jumping into something. That's the whole thing, is we always jump in, then we're in some stuff prematurely, and then we come to find out that some of it all entails correctly, but then some of it doesn't. And so, I mean, Russia and Ukraine have been at each other forever, and it's always been a conflict with them. But I think that maybe them meeting with, I can't think of their names, but it's the where all of the governments come together. European,
UN.
yeah, exactly. And so I think if they come together and try to come up with a decent agreement, I think they should work that way versus us just jumping into something. I mean, our economy is not the greatest. So how are we going to pay for this? How are we going to pay for our soldiers to go out there and do this and allocate all this money? Like, let's logically think this out. And like, is it a threat to, who is it really threatening? Is it just going to be threatening Ukraine, or is it going to affect the whole globe, type of situation? So I think, we just need to figure out what our P's and Q's, because we're always in everybody's business and trying to
sit the fuck down.
Yeah, because I mean, we're always in everybody's business, and we want to tell them how to run their country when we can't even get our own stuff right.
We out here the messy cousin, can't get our shit together, but we ready to fight.
Let's do this.
I believes that they possibly will invade at the end of the Winter Olympics, which would be the 20th. And the reason why, and I hate to talk politics, but the reason why that U.S. has to jump into it, because if you allow that a dictator or a president go into another country, invade it, then he's going to try to take another country and another country and another country. And that's the reason why U.S. wants to step in now, because before it gets out of hand.
So why don't they do what they always do, that's under the cover, and go and get the little special crew? I don't know, they may call them Navy SEALs, whatever they call them, and just take care of them. I mean,
there you go. Take care of them. Get rid of them.
I like it. Press the button. Pull the trigger. Fucking drop the hammer. Push the damn button. We got, because the messy cousin out here got enough shit to fucking figure out.
Right. It's just like
fucking running up my light bill.
You know what I'm saying? And my bread is $4, by the way.
My bread is fucking $4. Motherfucker, we ain't even got gas to get there, okay? And I got a cousin, and I got another cousin in the trunk. So pull the motherfucking trigger.
Push the damn button.
Push the damn button. So that's all I got for the show. I want to thank you, Michelle, for jumping on. Tori Savage Kitty. I have Jordan Patterson, J Money, coming up on Wednesday.
Yay!
His new album. This would be the second time that he came up on the show.
I like him. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, he did. He did write my interest music, my intro.
He did ours too, right?
No.
Oh no, he didn't do the rap.
Tune in on Monday with Drake.
Yeah. Oh, he did your rap. Yeah.
He didn't do the other one. Actually, the one that did ours is Aztec. He did the.
Oh yeah. No, I was thinking of yours. I had him confused. I know the difference. Yep.
Yes, it'll be on Wednesday, and then that's pretty much all I got. Make sure you go to Word on the Street. I know we are banned from Facebook. So YouTube,
as usual.
Go to YouTube /Word on the Street podcast, and you can always watch it live. That is Word on the Street Word on the Street podcast, and you can watch it. Where can they follow you at, Tori Savage Kitty?
Well, before you can follow me, I want to give a special shout out to my dad. He's listening. I know he is home. He was away at a little rehab center getting his strength back up after a little hospital bout. So I know he's tuning in and listening, and he is every Saturday. So I just want to give a shout out and lots of love to him and say, what up, though, Daddy? I love you, and keep getting stronger, and I'll see you soon, right? So other than that, you can follow me, Tori Rochelle, on Facebook, at All Beauty All Beast on Instagram, The Savage Kitty, that's THEE Savage Kitty on Twitter, and Tori Smooches on Snapchat.
So it's Valentine's Day. Do you want to drop your Cash App? So if anybody wants to send you some money.
Yes, you can also drop some love, sprinkle me with the love at Tori Rochelle 1111. That's my Cash App, Tori Rochelle 1111. Michelle, where can they follow you?
They can follow me at ShellBond17 at Instagram. Oh shoot, hold on, something happened.
Oh, she's getting the love already.
Oh, it's Valentine's and my phone is popped on out of nowhere, and I can't get it off. Oh God!
So if anybody wants to bless you with some money, how do they send you money?
Oh, I think she hit her microphone because her phone heard it. She's like, I can't get it to turn off. That's funny.
Girl, this shit just started playing by itself. Talking about baby. That's not what we doing today.
If they want to spread some baby love to you, where do they drop
I'm trying to
it
get my
at?
Cash App thing because nobody. I'm always sending money. Nobody never sending me some money. Send me some money. Hold on. Let me get my little thing out. We're gonna work it out while my phone is trying to be possessed by love songs.
That's funny.
So it's CH Refuge is my Cash App.
There you go.
CHREFUGE.
Sprinkle the love.
Money. Spend $5, send 10, 20. Buy her steak dinner.
Yeah. What's your Cash App, Drake?
It is Drake Swift 1 at Cash App or whatever. So
yeah,
you can always send me money, and my money, it will not be for a steak dinner. It will support this show. So there you go.
His money's going to porn. Don't lie. It's okay. We don't judge here.
No.
Yeah,
yeah, give him some money so he can put it in his spank bank. Come on.
So make sure you guys are always washing your hands, wearing a mask, and washing your ass. And I'm out. Here you go. Peace out.